So on Monday night, when do you first remember hearing the conversation? I mean, Brian Diamond of Spike flat out said in October of '09 that the signing of Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff is to quote, strengthen Thursday nights in their current time slot. So when did that change and why did it change and how did it change? That's what we're talking about. But Meltzer would report right away. There's talk of those close to Hogan that he's claiming part of the deal for him coming in is that Impact will go live on Monday nights from 8 to 10 starting on January 4th, the first weekend after football season ends. As noted, Brian Diamond of Spike has denied this is the case, saying their goal is to build up Thursdays. Those in TNA who were aware of Hogan coming in ahead of time were not aware of any change in television time. However, those being pitched to come in by the Hogan side have been pitched on the idea of recreating the Monday Night Wars. While it has not been said, within TNA, the belief is Hogan will come in the first of the year. In theory, such a situation would be the best thing possible for the business. Jeff Jarrett, when he was running TNA, his goal was to get on Monday from the start. The problem is the only one-time Impact and Raw went head to head, which was a Thursday in 2007 when Raw was moved by the USA Network because of the dog show. The TNA audience was cut in half of what it had usually done, falling from a 1.12 rating and 1.6 million viewers the week before to a 0.59 rating and 726,000 viewers. That rating had scared a lot of people off of the Monday night goal. So listen, this is a tangled web, but well, so is TNA. So let's try to walk it back piece by piece here. Were you ever at any point, not 2010, but at any point, a proponent of Monday night?
Look, I can't say that my fleeting brain, because I was right in the middle and going back and forth, and that's a whole bunch of different episodes. I was right in the middle of the Monday Night Wars, that didn't cross my mind. But from the very beginning, and Kevin Kay, president of Spike, Brian Diamond, Scott Fishman, myself, video game folks, all that, we were the alternative and everything that went with it. And I was never, as Dave writes his fiction in this weekly newsletter. Look at you shaking your head.
Why would you say that to get us started? You're a heat set. You're a heel.
No, I'm not. I'm just poking fun at you. But no, I was never a proponent of going to Monday nights. Never, ever, ever. Did it not cross my mind? Sure, I was in the Monday Night Wars. But did I want to do that? No. And the episode that you're referring to and the Westminster Dog Show and everything that went with that. And here's the other sort of guiding light through all this. Me, Brian Diamond, Scott Fishman, because we were the ones taking notes on every show and in the post, and that relationship that was, a lot of times on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I talked to them more than anybody in the world on show notes. We never flirted with that, and we're very happy. And I would always Iggy them or cajole them or, hey man, we can't get everything in this 2-hour show. What about another hour show? Maybe Tuesday, maybe a weekend recap. Maybe we were on Saturday nights at one time, anything to add content. That was a running conversation, but nothing about Mondays.
So any sort of, do you remember other people in the organization prior to Hogan and Bischoff coming in championing the idea of a Monday Night War recreation?
No, I don't. In that, going back to, as we had that, however you want to say it, the traction, and from Saturday nights off prime to Thursday nights off prime to Thursday night 1 hour prime to Thursday nights 2 hour prime, that was a real good success story. I can remember the Spike folks and, why tinker with that? And what was the benefit of it? It just wasn't there. In those days, our 1.5 million to 2 versus their 5.5-ish million, 6, 4.5, whatever the number may be, there was just no upside. None. And here was why Spike was adamantly against it, is the ad dollar. Are you going to, it just didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense because you're splitting the audience.
For sure. And with UFC, I mean, just with the UFC relationship and gosh, there was a lot of content UFC on during this time. It wasn't a good business decision on any level.
It's something that you learned from, though, when you tried the dog show head-to-head experiment. On the heels of that, Dixie's a part of the organization. Then what did Dixie think when you guys tried the Thursday experiment that went sideways?
I'm not sure we tried it. I don't recall exactly, because USA, that experiment was forced on us. We were already on Thursdays, and USA chose to move to Thursdays.
But she at least was curious, right?
Oh,
like, hey, well, how's this going to shake out?
Oh gosh, when we get into sort of all this, however you want to table it, and again, it's another episode, and I'm staying on point, but July of 2009. So, let's go to August, September, October, November, December. Dixie Carter was in control. It was at the end of the day, and this is why I told the company attorney, you need to let Spike know I'm no longer executive producer. Yeah. I don't think that I'm positive. It never took place for a year and a half. That was one thing, but the decisions being made, she just wasn't curious. She absolutely, we can say Hogan wanted to go on Monday nights. It ultimately was Dixie's decision.
When this is going down, describe your emotions as you're watching it. Like,
hearing it back, so I can't really get back in my brain, but just because you're a main event talent doesn't mean that you can produce yourselves. This is hitting the mark, because we've told people for the last 3 or 4 years that Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, Team 3D,
they're the best in the world.
All that. And now they've got to earn their keep. And I'm not talking about the heels, but the baby faces, and it all starts over. And we're hearing this from, oh man, I am a Scott Hall fan, but Scott, why are you raining on the TNA talent? Or I'm not saying he did that, but Hulk, and it just,
Hulk said, if you can't wrestle and you can't talk.
Yeah. Of all people. I'll say this, that promo did not age well over the next few years.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. And it makes me feel like, instead of having, like, when you're in last place, and don't get me wrong, TNA was not in last place. And even if they were, let's break that down. Who gives a shit?
We were the alternative making money.
Thank you. Making money is what it is. Nobody should have ever started a wrestling company or any business. Like, let's say Jeff wants to open a hamburger stand. Is he going to be hell bent on beating McDonald's? Or is he going to be hell bent on, let me provide for my family the best living I can
and sell a lot of freaking hamburgers,
make as much money as I can at my hamburger stand?
Yes.
Not necessarily become all consumed with, we got to have something better than the Happy Meal. What? They got too big of a lead on you, Bubba. You'll never catch them. That's not why you should be doing this anyway.
Yes.
Unless you got more money than you know what to do with, and it ain't really your money anyway.
Yeah.
But when you approach this from a pragmatic business approach, everything that just happened is wrong. Hello, paying customers who gave us a super profitable, wildly profitable year last year. We don't care about you. It's unbelievable.
It will believe that, because you just heard it. I mean, that's exactly. Oh boy, I told you this. My world was going to be painful at times.
This is one of those times.
Painful,
but it is what could have been. I mean, Up next is the TNA Knockouts Tag Title match. By the way, we should mention this. This is Hulk Hogan was doing what was scripted. As you said, Eric Bischoff was trying to make chicken salad. Sean Waltman, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash were doing what was scripted. These guys are performers. I'm not going to put any of this blame on them. In the end, they're all employees. They're all doing what they were told.
100%.
So I don't want anyone to hear this and say, boy, Jeff and Conrad really just shit on Kevin Nash. No, we didn't. We love Kevin. We love Scott.
Been a part of Main Event Mafia. Kevin knew.
Yes. Hey, it's working. Why are we deviating?
I'm telling you, Kevin knew like no tomorrow. I'll just leave it at that.
The idea, though, that somebody gets into the wrestling business, don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to be champ. Everybody wants to get a push. Everybody wants to have the #1 selling t-shirt or action figure or whatever. I get that. But listen, most of us who are listening to this are not in the wrestling business. Why do you go to work every day? To take care of your family. Well, what are your goals? Sure, you'd like to get a promotion, but why? Well, because you'd like to give your family a better house, a bigger house, a vacation house. They don't have to worry about student loans. You're in this to make money. Mm-hmm. This is the wrestling business. When you become obsessed with, we're going to become if you could become the #1 wrestling promotion in the world based on top line revenue, Jeff, or you could become the most profitable wrestling promoter based on bottom line revenue, Jeff, what would you pick? There's a famous Jay-Z lyric. Would you rather be overrated or overpaid or underrated? I'll take overpaid.
There you go.
I'll take overpaid all day. Underrated's not a compliment. I mean, it is, but
2013 December, my attorney calls me and says, well, what do you think? I said, I'm resigning at the end of the month. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing a lot. What do you think about the last year? Just give me your thoughts. I said, I learned something this year. Goal alignment.
Yeah.
Yep. Jeff, you're right. Your goal is to make money. The Carter's goal was not. And this is the proof in the pudding right here.
And don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that, by God.
Oh,
it's their money.
It's their money and their decision. Yes.
They can do totally what they want. But Jeff Jarrett's goal was, as with most wrestling promoters before him, I want to make as much money as I can, because that's why you get into business. Yes. That's why you stress out and you employ people and you do all of this to hopefully at the end squeeze out more of a profit than you could somewhere else. But when money's not an issue,
of this episode with the advertising, just think about that.
Yeah.
Because it was live on Monday with 15 new debuts.
It was astronomical. You lost your ass on this show.
Yes.
Your dad was outside trying to figure out how to put something else in them cigars, because that tobacco wasn't enough. That's inside baseball.